Hey everybody, Amy here with Garden Up. Today I want to tell you about one of my favorite plants in the iris family. It's called Crocosmia. Basically, Crocosmia has long skinny leaves, just like all of the other iris family relatives. It's a monocot, which means it has one cotyledon or seed leaf. In scientific terms, it's a lot like grass. But Crocosmia has a unique type of root structure called a corm. And a corm is a type of bulb type structure in that it's wide and then it has the roots coming off of that. But the different thing about Crocosmia roots is that instead of dividing beside the original bulb, it creates a vertical chain of roots, of new growth, on top of last year's root. It will pull itself down into the soil in the right conditions, but if they're not the right type of soil that it likes, it tends to climb out of the soil. And so every few years, if you notice that your Crocosmia is losing vigor, you may want to dig it up and replant it, which is what we're doing here today. Last year, this plant was absolutely gorgeous. It was huge. Well, why is it so sparse this year? Probably because it's starting to climb up out of the soil. So that's what I'm going to dig up and find out. You can dig and divide your Crocosmia every, 3 to 5 years if you want. Not really needed to be done very frequently. Some varieties are not hardy to our area, so you'll want to make sure you get Lucifer or a variety that's hardy to at least zone 5. Most Crocosmia prefer warmer climates than ours. I'm giving it a nice wide range to make sure I'm not cutting off any roots yet. Something right there. This was attached to one of these others that fell off. There we go. Oh. So here's a stack of 3. 1, 2, 3. But what I'm seeing in this middle one is there's something eating this root. Okay, that would explain why it's not as vigorous as previous years. Here's one that's growing. So I'm going to rebury this, but I'm going to put it down at least this far, where it goes from white to green. Yeah, something's eating and rotting some of these bulbs. So that's why it's not as vigorous. So this one that's being eaten, I'm going to pop that one out and throw it away, and maybe some of the bugs that are eating it will go with that. Hopefully they're in that little form there. There's also a lot of competition for space going on here. There's a lot of roots from other plants, I think. Might also affect. Oh, this one was upside down. It was growing this way, but these are the leaves, so that's that one's problem. Here's an excellent example of it climbing up out of the soil. These were the originals. The next year, the following year, it's going up. These other roots probably are not helping it at all. That's cool. This one looks like it was climbing up several inches and was going to start a whole new bulb up there. So now that I have all of them dug up, I've taken out the ones with evidence of insect damage. I'm going to replant them at their proper depth, which is somewhere between 3 to 5 inches. Crocosmia likes well-drained but moist soil, and it likes nutrient-rich soil, which this is. I might add some compost to it though, just to make sure. In fact, I think I will before I plant it. I'll add some compost and put it in about 3 to 5 inches, which handy hurry, 5 inches down is right there. Right about there. And then I'll cover it up, and hopefully it'll be good and vigorous again for many more years to come. There's some little roots coming off of the bottom, and there's a fuzzy thing coming off the top. They look a lot alike, but this side is up, and you want to make sure that that side goes up. Oh, here's a great chain right here. This one was probably the original one, and then it sprouted this one. This one shot off the side. It goes this way. Goes right there. This looks like what that one is, if this is going to be like that one, where here's the original form, and it shot up this long rootlet here, and it's going to make another form there. And you see what I mean about them climbing out of the soil. They literally just climb their way up. It seems like a really strange survival strategy when you think about it. This one's not doing anything. Oh, look at that. We found our bugs. And here are the bugs. Little round wormy things. These are not earthworms. They are a parasitic variety of worm. Look almost like little centipedes. All over the place in there. Ew. This one's coming right out of the bulb right there. So yeah, this one, I'm just going to pop this off. This infested one is going to go in my bucket in the garbage. This one I'll put back in. Ah. One's either been eaten. Oh yeah, yuck. That one, I found it like this, had a big old hole right here. Pop it open. It's all rotten on the inside. That one's going in the garbage. This is another one that's, I could go either way. This one's a little mushy down here, and I do see one of those worms. It's not growing out of the top, so I'm going to assume this one's gone. Throw it in the trash too. I don't want to risk putting more of those worms back in. Same thing there. This is our baby that was planted upside down, so I'll put it in the right way up. And there. There. I don't see any worms on this one, but I see little tiny holes. There's a few of them. So this probably, and it's a little squishy, it probably has bugs inside. Let's cut it open and see. That is not what the inside of one of these bulbs is supposed to look like. So yeah, that one's going in the trash too. Actually, one of our littler, healthier ones, and we'll have a sacrificial lamb here. Just because I'm curious what a healthy one looks like on the inside. That's better. That's what it's supposed to look like. I don't think it's supposed to be brown right here though. This should still be alive. So that one might have been dying anyway. So there we go. So that's a little bit about crocosmias and the long-term care of them. But it's also a really good training on just how to diagnose a problem to begin with. If you see a plant that's not doing well and you can't see any reason for not doing well on the surface above the ground, try digging it up. You never know what you're going to find in the roots. And the same goes with trees and just about any kind of plant, really. You can tell a lot from the roots of the plant. And so I'll likely do several videos like this in the future where if I find a plant with a problem, I'll dig it up and see what's causing the problem. Um, Oftentimes I see trees that are planted a little too deep. That happens way more often than you'd think, and that can cause devastating long-term consequences for the tree. So, um, yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel and you'll see more about all kinds of stuff like this. See you in the garden.